My wife and I started watching The Gray Man the other night, but the pretentious filmmaking and gratuitous violence turned me off. Next, we watched The Old Man with Jeff Bridges, and though the filmmaking was better, again, gratuitous violence and the hero, the dude no less. Well, it annoyed me. So I got up, went to my PC, and prepared to rant. First, I used Bandicam to screen grab some clips from Netflix. Then I used OBS to show the video clips with my little head in the bottom, sort of like this. And I rambled on about it, and I spent a couple of hours on it, uploaded it, and then the dreaded copyright strike. YouTube would not publish the video, and that's bad. What's really bad is that if you get a couple of those, YouTube won't allow you to upload new videos for weeks. So I quickly deleted the video. I'd have to figure out how to do future rants without getting copyright strikes. I had no idea how hard that would be. But with a little work, I did learn how to avoid copyright strikes. However, I still got copyright claims. Now, copyright claims essentially mean that YouTube knows you used copyright material, but it won't take it down unless the copyright holder complains. I didn't want that either, just to stay completely safe. What I found is that it is super hard to show any Netflix video that YouTube can't figure out what you're showing. I'm sure the same is for Disney, Amazon, etc. So on the one hand, I'm angry that YouTube doesn't make it easy for a social critic to exercise his or her free speech using the fair use doctrine. On the other hand, I'm blown away at how clever YouTube engineers are, that they can see through various methods to get copyright content through the system. So I'm going to show you some methods I've used, and they basically all sort of work to get only claims and not strikes. And, claims are okay because, again, YouTube's sort of saying, hey, we know we're going to alert the copyright holder that you're using some content, so you may get it taken down, but we'll assume you're using it for fair use or something. So anyway, I'm going to show you these methods and what I'm using now, and hopefully it's helpful to you if you want to, again, get up and rant about something you saw on one of these shows. All right, well, here I am doing my rant the other night, and I'm sure this was all fine with YouTube. And then I actually think it didn't really detect much of The Gray Man. The copyright strike was based on when I put up Giri Haji. So when I put up this, that's when I'm not going to show much of it because I don't want to get the copyright strike again. But that's when I got the copyright strike. And a lot of my testing I'm show you now was using the Giri Haji. So the first thing I tried, and this worked in getting only a copyright claim, was to take a graphic, transparent PNG, and just keep scrolling it across the screen. And I used FFmpeg to do this. In fact, let me get the FFmpeg commands. The first thing when you get, sorry, okay. So what I would do is use FFmpeg as command line, and this is basically the command here I have in this directory. So I take test cut, and this actually was that the Gray Man clip that I had. And then this fair use PNG file I created on Canva. I'm not going to take you through all that. But anyway, and then this is the one that you were looking at. So FFmpeg, I would send it, the clip, and in the future I planned on sending any clip that I was going to use for fair use. So the input file would be my clip. I'd use that fair use PNG, and you just search in the internet for other people that come up with these tricks, and so I just copied their trick. And this basically main overlay, I don't know how it actually works, but it basically says an overlay, and this stuff somehow makes it basically go across the screen in that sort of fashion. So let's go back and look at that again. So that's what it looks like. That was the first method that I used. And I don't remember why I decided that, I know why. So I used this, and even though it didn't get a copyright strike, it got a copyright claim. And then I was like, I don't want anything. So a lot of this is just really, this is overkill now. I could have just used this, but I really just didn't want to get anything. This is Giri Haji without anything. And I'm going to get off that quickly. just so that I don't get the copyright strike on it. Because I think part of what YouTube does is it uses like how long it is. So this only got the copyright claim, and you'll get it again. So in this method, what I did is I wanted to just blur it and put some text. And so again, if we go into the commands, oh, this is the random noise. So basically, they would add random noise by doing this noise thing. And again, I tried what I thought was just the right amount of noise and blur. And these are the draw text. And the reason this is FF Play is one of the great things about FFmpeg is you can you can put in all your commands, and then FFmpeg will actually play the clip for you. It'll play what it's going to do, and it does a conversion. So you don't have to keep creating clips and looking at creating clips. You can just keep putting them through FF Play, and then whenever you see something that you want, it's exactly what you want, you just substitute FF Play for FFmpeg, and now it'll create the clip. So you just add the. So as you can see in the play, there's no output file, and then FFmpeg, you would just then add the output file here at the end. Okay, so that was the Giri Haji opening the fair use blurred only. Then I tried this, and I thought, oh, you know what? YouTube they're probably trying to figure out what the bottom is. So if I just make it a little bit crooked, they won't be able to figure it out. But they figured it out. So again, they knew I was using this clip. They'll say like the timeline that you're using it. So I thought I was smart. It didn't work there either. Then the next thing I tried is you flip the image horizontally. So basically left is right and right is left. See how the wording is wrong? Again, YouTube figured it out. I think they figured out this one faster than all the others. And this actually escaped even the fair use. And I figured this one out. There's another guy on YouTube who told me that, oh, there's a guy who's doing these karate videos, and he took them down for a while, and then he took them up. And it's because YouTube went after him on copyrights. And so this is the method he's using, though he blurred everything here, and I forget the name of his channel, but it doesn't make a difference. I used the technique he used, which is to put something on the left and right that are very big. And this indeed, YouTube did not detect this either for a copyright strike or a copyright claim. It just did not recognize this video. So this worked pretty well. So I think going forward, I would want to just make this a little bit smaller. But anyway, at this size, I think this will work. So these are the things I made in Canva, by the way. So in Canva, you can animate graphics, and you can put them in a loop through OBS. So I tried these things that I was going to use with OBS, over on the side there. But again, I think I realized it was overkill. You don't need all this animation to confuse it. It doesn't really confuse it. I think at the end of the day, really, what it's about is just, how much of the image is there. If you remove a lot of the image or replace not enough of the image, YouTube won't detect the copyrighted information. Okay, well, I finally figured an overlay that I think will work. Now, by the way, I'm not using audio anymore in these clips because I feel that YouTube finds it that way. I don't really need the audio, but maybe I'll want it later. I can try and bring that in, just so you know. Anyway, so this seems to work very well. YouTube did not detect that I'm using this clip either as a copyright strike or copyright claim. It's just what I want, so that's good. And I created all this in Canva. And what I'm using here is so in OBS, you really need to create the size of your screen, have a 4K screen, even though I'm only going to show this part. Otherwise, anyway. If you understand OBS and all stuff, you understand. So anyway, I create this the size of my screen. I put all this stuff here, and I save it as a PNG. And OBS can use a white background to mat it through. So on this scene, I have a display capture. Right-click filter. Okay. Finally. Okay. So I added a filter, and you can see the filter is that image, that PNG I created in Canva. It uses white to move that out, and there you can see it. It just goes over the whole screen, and it uses the alpha mask channel. So in OBS, when I want to play this as part of my screen and my fair use commentary too, because I was playing around with this stuff, You can see the combo for the actor, which is fair use oval. Actually, that's me right here. I'm not using the oval, I'm using this thing. And by the way, I got this graphic from Canva also. I just took it stock. And then USB managed HDMI. I have my Mode 2, which is my microphone. And then here's the screen capture with the filter overlay. So if I get rid of it, you can see. And this one actually is the old method. And this is with nothing. So on this one, you can see here's display capture and below. But again, I'm going to use this one, which is display capture plus the overlay, so that YouTube doesn't give me a copyright strike or claim on what I'm doing. Okay, to recap, the bottom line is if you want not to get copyright strikes and hopefully not even get copyright claims, remove as much of the image as possible. There are two methods that I think work. One is my method where you're putting a lot of like objects that are just pulling visual data out, like these little circles with the the slits or these words. I like using the words because it would show any human looking at that I'm using this for fair use. I am criticizing. You can't mistake this. That I'm trying to use somebody else's copyrighted work for profit. The second method would be to blur it a lot. So there's a certain amount where you blur it, it won't detect it because that's what the karate video guy is doing. What I can tell you is that, well, I don't really understand how it works. I'm sure it's actually a secret. But as far as I can tell, you can't confuse YouTube by making the image crooked. You can't confuse it by rotating it. You can't confuse it by changing the brightness and the contrast, which is something I tried right in the beginning from reading other people who had done that. You can't confuse it by putting motion graphics over it. It's really just very hard to confuse. I think the way that it works, and please, if you know in the comments, tell me, I don't believe it actually looks at motion. I think it basically samples the frames every 10 seconds and will take a frame and use these algorithms to determine whether the frame matches any frame in their videos. And they say it'll take 10 minutes, but it really generally takes, 10 seconds. It's amazing to me that it can actually, do this, that it can find, the property you're using and figure it out. Really is just amazing. So in some ways I would say, upload just a clip, put a clip in one of your videos and upload it and just see how amazing it is that it can figure it out. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. Again, if you know anything more than I know, please put it in the comments. But for now, again, the steps that I'm going to use going forward is I create a PNG file that using white for matting, and it's going to take out a lot of the image. I use OBS to overlay through a mask that image onto the screen capture, the video that I want to show, and then I'll speak over it and I can talk about it and I can put it as long as I want. I'm not going to worry about it because it doesn't seem to. It seems to, even with long clips, it seems to work. So that's the method I'm using. You don't have to use Canva. Obviously, you can use Photoshop, Paint Shop, whatever, any sort of program like that to create your mask that you can use for fair use social criticism. Okay. Thanks for watching and good luck with your fair use criticism. Exercise your free speech. Make society better by pointing out these things I think we can improve, because that's what it's really all about. I don't think the dude should be killing somebody who basically is just like innocent, right? I mean, our heroes should not kill innocent people cavalierly. And that's really what my rants were about on the gray man and the old man. And I will actually get back to those rants hopefully one day. But anyway, I think fair use, also YouTube should make it easier for people to use fair use criticism. All their efforts are weighted towards a copyright holder. I don't think that's right. Again, they have a social obligation, but I'm going to get into a long rant here and I don't want to. Again, this is just about the techniques of fair use. Have a good one.